everyone, I hope you're having an amazing day. Welcome to another episode of 10 p.m. University. So today we're going to talk about arithmetic progression, right? So we're going to do two more episodes on the maths week, then we're going to move on to another topic, right? So because this is, that's what I'm trying to do, to talk about a different topic for a week. Similar topic for a week. And then we will change it eventually to different topics in a week, right? Okay, all right. So what is arithmetic progression? It's also in a short form it's called as AP. So a finite sequence with elements, right? So think about a finite sequence with elements: a plus d, right? A plus 2d up to so on, a plus n minus 1 is known as arithmetic sequence or arithmetic progression. So this is what you call it as arithmetic progression. The constant difference between two consecutive terms is known as a common difference, which is often denoted by d, right? So for instance, let me give an example. Let's see, let's look at the sequence of a real number, right? So real numbers like 1, 3, 5, 9, right? This is an arithmetic progression. Reason being, if you take the common difference between these two, it will be 2. These two, it will be 2. And then it will have 7, then 9, right? So this will be 2, right? So there is a common difference equal to 2. So this is an AP, right? Okay, let's take another example, right? We got a sequence like 17, 13, 9, 5, 1. This is also an AP because the common difference, right? D equals 2, right? The difference between 2, right? That is minus 4. Difference between 2, minus 4. Difference between 2, minus 4, right? Difference between 2 minus 4. So we have a common difference that is minus 4 here. So when you have a sequence of a number, right? And if you have a common difference, so that is AP, we call it as. So let's do a classic example, right? Let's do an example. So to see whether that is whether that sequence is an AP or arithmetic progression or not. Just do one thing to make it easier. I will use arithmetic progression in a short form as AP. Right, so just to let you know in advance, so AP means arithmetic progression. So we're gonna stick to AP for this lecture, right? Okay, so let's say we have a sequence, right? Define something called an minus 4n minus 3, right? Now we need to find out whether this sequence is an AP or not. So it's pretty easy to find out. So what we have to do, we have to substitute n equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, so on, right? So what we're going to do, so let's say a1, right, that when n equals to 1, and that's equal to 4, that's equals to 4.1 minus 3. Okay, so this an equals to 4 and minus 3, right? This is equation, sorry. Minus 3, and this equals to 1, and we have a2, that's equal to 4 times 2. Now 4 times 2, right, or you can put dot, whatever, right, minus 3, that is equal to 5. So what I'm doing is I'm actually substituting n with 1 and 2. So when you substitute n with 1, you get this. When you substitute n with 2, you get the value of 5, right? And now you're going to substitute n with 3, and you're going to get 4.3 minus 3, that is equals to 12 minus 3, that's equal to 9, right? So we got a1 equals to 1, a2 equals to 5, a3 equals to 9, and so on. So take the difference of this, 5 minus 1, 4, and 9 minus 5, 4. So yeah, this is, you can call it as an AP, right? So this sequence is an AP. All right, we're going to do more exercise just to make it clear for you, right? So let me clear this one. I hope it's easy because AP is the easiest thing to do, and you can do that in the real life as well. For instance, right, if you wanted to, let's say, let me give you an example, right? If you are someone who started working, let's say, at the age of 20, right, and you decides to work till, let's say, 60, till you turn 60, and then you are someone who loves to change job every 5 years, right? Now, you can use AP to find out the number of times companies you worked during your entire tenure, right? That you can use AP to. So that's one of an example you can use. There are similar example as well. So you can use that in your travel, like you travel from this station to this station, and you often do that for so many number of years and calculate the number of times you did. So, you know, as long as you can work out the sequence, you can use the AP there. So, okay, let me clean this a bit more. And then we're going to do more example of it so that it will become more clear for you guys. Mathematics is fun, right? I mean, I know that some people say that it's not really fun. It's really fun. The reason why it's fun, because you can use mathematics in your day-to-day life. Everything around you involves mathematics in one way or another way, right? I mean, because I often hear people say, I hate maths. It's like saying you hate everything around you. You hate the stuff. Like, we are living, assuming everything is a black box. That's really not good. We are not a species which is supposed to not aware of the things that is developed by another human being, right? It's not that we are using a technology that's developed by an advanced race, right? Which we have no clue what's going on, right? So it's something developed by a fellow human being. So everything involves mathematics in one way or another way. So maths needs to be taught in universities and schools, in my opinion, in a fun way, not in the form of, you know, rigid, strict way just for the sake of teaching. That's not really fun, right? Because that's why most of the students hate maths, because it's not taught in the form of fun. It's not like eating cheeseburgers. It's not like eating ice cream, right? It's a mental activity, but mental activity should be fun. All right, sorry I digress. Let's do another example, right? So let's say we have the sequence 1, 3, 6, 10. What do you think? Is this an AP or is this not an AP? Okay, the way to find out, so take the difference here, that is 2. Take this difference, right? This is 3. Take this difference, this is 4. So this is like D1, right? And this is D2, right? And this is D3. Now, what happens? D1 not equals to D2. Not equals to D3. So this is not equals to AP. So it's not an AP sequence. Okay, so that's how you actually solve it. Okay, and then let's do one more example, right? Just to make it more clear. AN equals to 3n plus 2, right? Okay, so determine whether this is an AP or not. So how do you do that? Very simple. Take n equals to 1, 2, 3. We gotta substitute it, sorry, till n, right? Whatever. So A1, first of all, 3 times 1 plus 2, that's equals to 5, right? A2, right? That's equals to 3 times 2 plus 2. That means 6 plus 2, 7, right? Okay, A3, that's 3 times 3 and plus 2, that's 9 plus 2. That's equals to 11, right? So we got 5, 7, 11, and so all right, so hang on, let me see one more thing. So A1 equals to 3 times 1 plus 2, that's, I just wanted to make sure that I did it right, equals to 5, right? And then we got a 6 plus 2, right? Sorry, that's my bad. It's 8, right? That's what I was thinking. So something wrong. And 3 times 3, that's 9, 10, it's 11, right? Okay. It's 3, right? And this minus 11 minus 8 is 3, right? So that means, and so on. So here, assume this is as a D1, right? And this as a D2. So in this case, D1 equals to D2, and hence for D3, D4 as well. So this is an AP sequence, right? So this is how we do it. So if you get an equation like this, right? So if you to see whether to find out if this is an AP sequence or not, it's very easy to do that. Just substitute n with numbers 1, 2, 3, and then work out, right? That's the easiest way to do that, right? Cool. All right. So we're gonna jump onto another topic now, and so what we're gonna do, we're gonna talk about some of n terms of an AP, right? So I'm gonna explain to you in a minute. So which is okay, let me clear this one. So we're gonna talk about GP tomorrow, next time, and so geometric progression. We're not gonna talk about that today. I just wanted to keep this lecture nice and simple so that you guys understand what you're doing, right? So as I said, right, the main interest of this 10 p.m. University is to give you a tool set, right, every day, something different, so that when you wake up, you can say, oh yeah, I've learned something new, right? And then it's up to you to do whatever with that, right? So that's my main interest, to give you idea about different stuffs in life, right? There are a lot of things around in life. Some people may not want to go to university to learn everything. So, 10, 20 minutes of your time every day, I think it's worth it, right? To learn something new. Cool. Because time is more precious, right? You need to use it wisely. All right, okay. So we're going to talk about some of n terms of an arithmetic progression that equals to, let's say Sn equals to n by 2, n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1 d, right? Where a is the first term, right? D is the common difference, and n is the number of terms, right? So that's how you actually calculate it, right? So what we're gonna do, so we do one exercise here. Find the sum of, let's say we need to find the sum of 5 terms, right? And of an AP. That means a equals to 5. And if the first term is, all right, let's start again. We need to find the sum of 5 terms of an AP, right? If the first term is 5 and the common difference equals to 4, right? So how do you find out? So it's pretty simple. So here n equals to 5 because we need to find the sum of 5 terms, right? So, and we already know A, we already know D, so we need to use this equation, right? So that is S of 5 equals to 5 by 2, right? So A is 5, 2 times 5, right? And plus n equals 5, 5 minus 1, D equals to 4, right? So that equals to 5 by 2, 10 plus 20. Time not 20, 10 plus 16 because it's 5 minus 1, right? Okay, so that will equals to 5 by 2, 26. That's pretty much equal to 5 times 13. That's something equals to 65, right? So that's how you calculate the sum of n terms. All right, okay, so let's do a few more examples, right? Just to make it more clear. So after that, we will end the chapter today. All right, let's clear it. Sounds good to clear. Right, okay. Yeah, so what I was saying was that that's the reason why I founded 10 p.m. University, based on my personal experience. so that before you go to sleep, it's, this is a century, right, where we have a lot of option out there, internet, but people, I mean no disrespect to anyone, people use so much of time for entertainment. That is why you will see the 95% of the population are not rich, of this world population. Only 5% owns or even 10% owns the most of the wealth on this planet. Warren Buffett, right? Warren Buffett, he's one of the richest men in the world, right? So he said he reads a lot every day, new stuff. Bill Gates reads a lot. Elon Musk reads a lot, right? All these billionaires, right? They have this, fire in the belly to learn something new, because that's what gives you an upper edge compared to rest of the humanity, right? And that's why, you can't say that, oh, I hate rich people because they are rich and mean. No, they work their ass off. I'm sorry to use the language, but they worked smartly. They used the time efficiently. They valued time is the most important part in their life. They sacrificed a lot of things. So, to reach to the top of the pyramid, you need to sacrifice a lot of things. And so the knowledge is one of the things, right? You need to sacrifice your comfort for knowledge. That will give you lots of advantage in your life, right? Right. I record stuff every day. I work at times 10 hours a day. Then I record. I do a lot of stuff, and so it's not that funny and pleasurable like eating cheeseburger, I said, or drinking beer, or eating ice cream or whatever. But you got to do it because my main interest is to educate everyone. All right, sorry, Tigers, my apologies. Okay, so right now let's do the second kind of example, right? So we have, let's say we gotta find the value. We need to find the sum of terms of an AP, right? Using this sequence 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus, you will get different problems. So this is one of the kind of problems. Let's say plus 100. Okay. So now, how do you use it, right? We got this formula here. Sn equals to n by 2, right? 2a plus n minus 1 d, right? Oh, come on. Equals to, right? So here, what we got a equals to 1, right? And d equals to 1, right? Because you see the difference between these two is 1. Difference between these two is 1. Difference between these two is 1. So the common difference is 1, right? And n equals to 100 because the number of terms is still 100. So now you're going to substitute this. It's pretty straightforward. So we're going to do 100 by 2, right? And then you're going to do 2 times 1, right? Why 2 times 1? Because a equals to 1, right? Plus 100 minus 1, right? Why 100? Because n equals to 1. Right, times 1, why 1? Because d equals to 1, right? Okay, so now this equals to what? It's pretty, so this is 500, right? And now you're going to do 2 plus 99, right? So this equals to 500 times 1, whatever the value is, right? So, yeah, so this is how you calculate sum of AP. So we're going to do more example, right? So let me clear this one more time, and then we're going to do one more example, right? And then we're going to finish it for today. Then I'll expect you to, if you guys interested to know more, please go and practice more, read about it. There's a Khan Academy videos around that as well. If you're interested, you can check that out as well, right? Or you can Google it for more stuff. So, I just wanted to understand how to do the stuff. And then you can, use that in your real life to see where to fit in. I'll give you one example, right, about the person who changes the job. And you can apply that, if you're commuting from one place to another place. You can use that in different scenarios, right? So, okay. All right. So now what we're going to do, we're going to work out, find the sum of odd numbers, right? Sorry, let's choose this one. So we're going to find the sum of odd numbers between 0 and 60, right? So now, if you look at 0 and 60, right? Between 0 and 60, there are 30 odd numbers, right? And 30 even numbers, right? I hope you know what odd and even means, right? So it should be pretty straightforward. So our equation for our task, our requirement, right, is to find the sum of odd numbers between 0 and 60, right? As I said, we got 30 odd numbers, 30 even numbers, right? Pretty straightforward. Okay, now the odd numbers are something like this: 30 odd number, right? Sorry, my handwriting sucks. It's 1, 3, 5, 59. So this is the odd number, and even number like 2, 4, 6, anything that's divided by 2, right? And you get the remainder 0. That's your even number. Okay, so apply the formula here. Pretty straightforward. You know what we're doing here, right? Okay, so we got n equals to 30 because we got 30, right? A equals to what? 1. D equals to 2 because the difference between these two is 2, right? So, all right, now use the formula here. Sn equals to n by 2. 2a plus n minus 1 d, okay? Now, it's pretty straightforward. What is n? 30 by 2, right? And 2 times a, that's 1, plus n, that is 30, minus 1 times 2, right? It's pretty straightforward. Now, this is equals to 15, and 2 plus, this is 29 times 2, right? And 15 times 60, right? 29 times 2, right? Yeah, it's that's right. It's 60, right? Okay, it's something equals to 900, right? So yeah, so this is how you do the sum of odd numbers between 0 and 60. You can do between any numbers you want. So this is how you work out a pattern, and then you use the formula or equation to figure out to calculate the sum of AP. It's pretty straightforward. You need to substitute the values of A, N, and D, right? And you get the result here, right? So this equals to equal. Okay, all right. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to cover today, guys. I mean, I wanted to give you very basic information around AP today. We're gonna talk about geometric progression next time, and we're gonna talk about one more, and then we will finish our math week. Right? That's the whole plan. So I hope you guys find some valuable input from today's session. Please leave your comment. If you wanted to like my video, you're most welcome to do so, right? I'm not a kind of person who will say, hey, you subscribe to my channel. No, I mean, I just wanted to give value to you guys. That's the whole point of starting this. So yeah, that's all I wanted to cover today. So wherever you are, take care of yourself. Adios and greetings from New Zealand. Bye bye.